Hello and welcome to the major bulletin for today on Ogun State Television. I am Simiat Abaru. First, the highlight. President Tinubu appoints governing councils of 2 federal institutions. Governor Abeokuta directs Civil Service Commission chairman to refund all administrative fees in relation to ongoing recruitment exercise in Ogun State. Federal government to reverse merger of technical science colleges. And on the foreign scene, Tunisian president sacks a prime minister as anger grows over water energy crisis.
And also on the news tonight, federal government to grant tax breaks to companies employing more staff. Details of this and more story to come later on the news. I am Opeyemi Adewomi. Do stay with us.
On sport news tonight, legendary defender Pepe announces retirement at 41. This and more much later when I return. I am Moses Ojewumi, still thus.
Perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we can catch excellence. You can watch us live on Facebook at OGTV, YouTube at OGTV Abeokuta, and on OGTV website www.ogtv.com.ng/live. For the latest news and reports, check us on these platforms: X at OGTV, Instagram at Ogun State Television, or download OGTV app on Apple and Google Play stores. And now to the news and details. President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of 9 persons to the governing councils of 2 federal institutions. A statement by Special Advisor to the President, Media and Publicity, Ajiri Ngalale, on Thursday said the President expects members of the governing board of the institutions to serve with integrity and devotion to the enhancement of their structural, academic, and all-round standards. Maritime Academy of Nigeria, Oron Akwa Ibom State, has Kehinde Akinola as chairman, Shehu Megari Doguwa, member, Samuel Isisho, member, and Faisal Lawal Halidu, member. The Nigerian College of Aviation Technology, Zaria Kaduna State, has Anthony Manzo as chairman, Ngozi Okoma, member, Durunguwa Abdul Malik, member, Biodun Taiwo, member, and Florence Toyin Olorunfemi, member. And now to Ogun State. The Ogun State Governor, Prince Dakpo Abiodun, has directed the chairman of the Civil Service Commission to refund all administrative fees currently being charged in relation to the ongoing recruitment exercise into the state civil service. The directive from the governor was communicated via a statement issued by the Secretary to the State Government, Mr. Tokunbo Talabi, and addressed to the chairman of the Civil Service Commission. Notwithstanding the fact that these are standard and historical fees that have been in place for decades, these fees are charged by the Civil Service Commission on behalf of the third-party independent examiners who administer and supervise the CBT tests and centers. The statement noted that the state government has, as a gesture of good faith and in acknowledgement of the current economic situation in the country, also taken into consideration the ultimate aim of the recruitment exercise, which is to alleviate the suffering of the citizens and create employment in the state, and instructed the immediate refund of fees paid, along with the waiver for any new application. In a bid to encourage learners to put in more effort for outstanding performance and improve standards, the Ogun State government has rewarded the state outstanding students in various competitions with cash awards. Presenting the cash awards to the learners at the Commissioner's Mini Conference Hall, Ukemoso, Abeokuta, the Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Abayomi Arigbabu, expressed satisfaction with them for making the state proud, promising that the government will continue to formulate policies that will further develop education in the state. Arigbabu commends the competitive spirit of the students like Omwe Betlega Emmanuel from Crescent International College, Ota, and Adejumo Oluwatobiloba of Ambassador College, Ota, who both emerged second runner-up in the 2023 Nigerian Institute of Physics National Quiz Competition held in May at Lagos, as well as Atiya Face from Adeokuta International School, the second overall best in the 8th edition of the 2024 774 Yos Park competition held in Abuja. Professor Arigbabu appreciates the management staff and teaching forces of the respective schools where the students came from for impacting standardized educational knowledge on the learners, referring to private schools as partners in progress in building up the lives of young generation.
I appreciate the mentorship, I appreciate the support we are giving. And that's why I want to assure you that we also support. I've always been doing it, we also do. We have always been in the leadership position in the state. So we cannot afford to come back with anything less.
He also lauded the local organizing committee for their unrelenting effort towards preparing the learners for various competitions, urging them to continue in that spirit for greater rewards and recommendations. Appreciating the Commissioner for the Cash Awards to the student, the State Chairman of Science Teachers Association of Nigeria, Dr. Yomi Ononuga, and the Principal at Adeokuta International School, Dr. Mike Adeokuta, promised to continue to put in their best for the greatness of learners in the state. Meanwhile, the Commissioner, while playing host to the executive members of the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, enjoined students to shun every form of violence and social vices, assuring that the present administration will continue to provide welfare packages for the students. Speaking clerk of the Senate, NANS, Abdul Yekin Oduayo, commended Ogun State government for its commitment on student welfareism and sincerity in the payment of the Education Cash Award for Student Help, Edu Cash Palliative, to Ogun indigent students in all tertiary institutions across the nation. The wife of Ogun State Governor, Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun, has expressed her ultimate commitment at ensuring that SDG 4 is achieved by 2030, which is the universal provision of free, equitable, and quality primary and secondary education, leading to relevant and effective learning outcomes through improved planning. Mrs. Abiodun made the commitment while speaking at the 2024 Summer Reading Camp put together by Sixth Sense Initiative. Margaret Okunola has the details.
Speaking at the 2024 Summer Reading Camp put together by the Sixth Sense Initiative, wife of Ogun State Governor Mrs. Bamidele Abiodun emphasizes the need for a thriving reading culture so as to increase vocabulary and build literacy skills among the younger ones.
Reading is an important element in the development of our society because history is documented and transferred through reading and writing. Therefore, children, you need to build a culture of reading to increase your knowledge and chart the course of your future for better. But we also need to provide a safe and conducive learning environment to help them gain the skills and knowledge for lifelong learning.
The gathering being a two-in-one event to celebrate the 90th birthday of the world-renowned Nobel laureate, Professor Wole Soyinka, who was represented by his son, Dr. Olaokun Soyinka, and the 60th birthday of Olowu of Owu, Obasaka Matemilola. They both note that reading plays a critical role in students' long-term interest and opportunities, career attainment, and individual fulfillment.
Learn to live with others, to understand how to relate with others, and be friends with others. This is part of your personal development. The more of these that you do, the better you get. He started that day and he read and he read and he read. Do you know what he's famous for now? He's famous for writing. He's famous for his poems. But he's also famous for being politically engaged, for fighting for justice, for fighting for humanity. And all that motivation, all that ability, all that talent and skill was perfected through reading.
The convener of the Sixth Sense Initiative, Abiodun Lashile, commended Mrs. Abiodun for her readiness at propagating reading culture among children. Mrs. Abiodun, alongside other dignitaries, including members of the Spouses of Ogun State Government's Functionaries Association, awarded a young boy for his outstanding performance at drawing, the most talented visual artist in Nigeria. Margaret Okunlola, OGTV News.
And still with the education sector, the federal government has announced plans to review the merger of federal technical colleges and science schools in the country to unbundle them. The Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, disclosed this at a one-day stakeholders meeting on the challenges and issues affecting technical colleges in the country. Maman expressed displeasure over the merging of technical colleges with colleges of science, saying it eroded the gains of establishing technical colleges across the country. He explained that technical colleges ought to be strictly for pupils with an interest in technical education. The minister emphasized that those who want to do science programs should go to regular colleges and continue their programs there, as it was clearly a mistake to have merged both schools. Maman also bemoaned the low enrollment of students in technical colleges, noting that technical colleges were to teach skills to transform the country. The success so far recorded in the resuscitation of school farming and return of farming practice among the pupils and students in primary and secondary schools in Ogun State will serve as a big boost to the resolve of the current administration in Ogun State to involve more youths in agriculture and food production by catching them young. Chairman of Ogun State Universal Basic Education Board, Dr. Femi Majekodunmi, made this assertion during his inspection of agric enterprises in some primary and junior secondary schools in Ogun Central for assessment of the progress of the scheme. Matthew Shomi completes the report.
Education without tools and cutlasses is not
as the need for all hands to be on the deck in the realization of the goals of improved food production and involvement of more youthful population in agriculture becomes more expedient, the current administration decided to take the bull by the horn through the Catch Them Young initiative by ensuring the smooth running of the resuscitated agric enterprise scheme in public primary and junior secondary schools. Chairman of Ogun State Universal Basic Education Board, Dr. Femi Majekodunmi, is out to monitor the implementation and progress of the enterprise, focusing on 7 areas of mixed cropping, animal husbandry, plantain farming, poultry, and egg production, as well as fishery.
It's a program put in place by UBEC, and the funding is part of the 2% from our intervention fund. Just 2 years ago, it has been well resuscitated because there was a dull moment, and we have in Ogun State 80 schools benefiting.
Dr. Majekodunmi expressed satisfaction with the progress recorded so far, the involvement of the pupils in agricultural activities, and increase in food production.
Made the learners to know about farming. There's a spread of knowledge, a spread of information. It's really a success. We expect the principal or the head teachers to take the program seriously.
Parents and students were delighted by the success recorded so far in building the interests of the young ones in agriculture and contributing to food production in the state.
And they teach us how to do a lot of things, how to farm, how to weed, how to make a lot of things. And we go at home, we tell our parents that, Ma, we can do this at home.
Because some of them, they have interest of going to a FONAP or do something like agric and distance. I think we will help them.
Well, now we've sold about 296,900 naira is worth of fish. Pupils have ponds in their homes now.
Schools visited were Imo Methodist Primary School, Okeyeke, Baptist Primary School, Idiaba, Salau Abiola Comprehensive High School Junior, Oshiele, and Ogun-Osun River Basin Development Authority Primary School, Alabata. Matthew Shoumi, OGTV News.
In a bid to boost Ogun State agricultural sector and enhance the state's food security and economic growth, Commissioner for Agriculture and Food Security, Bolu Owotomo, has visited Alubarika Farmer Cluster, a 200 hectares rice farm located at Magburo in Obafemi Wodi local government area. It was revealed that the 200 hectares farm is ready for harvest, producing 1,400 tons of rice. Bolaji Sampson report.
Prompted by the mission to support the federal government initiative on rice production, Ogun State government, through its Ministry of Agriculture, inspected the large-scale rice cultivation project spanning 200,000 hectares of rice farm located at Magburo in Obafemi Wodi local government area of Ogun State, a cluster of over 200 rice farmers, which was aggregated under the OGTV project by Value Chain Development Fund. While inspecting the farmer cluster rice farm, Commissioner for Agriculture and Food Security, Bolu Owotomo, assured that a 200 hectares rice farm is ready for harvest of 1,400 tons of rice, which is in line with the goal of the government to ensure the farmers in Ogun State have improved food production.
We have been getting very positive results. Most of the people that are in this cluster were not doing farming before now. The ones that were doing farming before now were only planting on just 1 plot or 2 plots. But now they are planting on 1 hectare, and they are being fully supported by the state government. And this is not only happening here, this is happening around the length and breadth of Ogun State. Over 30,000 farmers have been put in clusters like this, and they are having improved production, and the state government under the OGTV program is enhancing their livelihood.
Acknowledging the critical importance of food and energy security, farmers were also assured of government's full support and commitment to their well-being.
As the OGTV team, we are very delighted. We are happy. We're happy because we've seen that, all the effort. It's been a journey, to come this far. And like the Honorable Commissioner has said, this is just one. We'll be visiting quite a few more as we go on, because we have many across all the 4 zones in the state. So we're very happy, and we're grateful to the governor of the state for, his belief in this particular project.
On how cluster farming can help the present state of agricultural sector, it was explained that it is one of the solutions to the current agribusiness activities in Nigeria. Farmers applauded the state government for the initiative, expressing optimism that it would improve their standard of living. Ogun State government also affirmed its dedication to revolutionizing the agricultural sector. Bolaji Sampson, OGTV News.
Workers and the banking industry have been called upon to continue to stabilize the country's financial system and prevent potential system risks. The Ogun State Head of Service, Mr. Kehinde Onosonya, made the call when he played host to the executive members of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, CIBN, Ogun State branch led by Dr. Segun Oshadare, while on a courtesy visit to the office of the head of service. More details in this package.
There can never be a better time to task bankers on the need to rally government at all levels for a stable financial base than now, when there is global economic downturn, which does not leave out Nigeria. According to the head of service, Mr. Kehinde Onosonya, banks must continue to be alive to their obligations by discharging their responsibilities with due diligence why customer protection policy must be paramount in the scheme of things. He said their delivery through technologies is legendary to promote excellence in finance and banking, which has been made possible through certification and accreditation, as underscored by the various stages of continuous professional development.
Today, the state is the industrial capital of Nigeria, and we are proud to state that we have more than 6,000 industries in various corridors. And talking of our IGR, which we touch, in the year 2019, we were able to move from 50 billion in the year 2019 to at least in the region of 200 billion. It shows that we are doing our work very well. And talking of CIBN, we have a crucial role to play in terms of partnership, in terms of technological advancement of the core engine of government.
The head of service revealed various steps taken so far in ensuring that capacity building in the Ogun State Civil Service remains paramount, which has been taken to the front burner to enhance the operational effectiveness of government business. Earlier in his submission, Dr. Segun Oshadari appreciated the state government for continued efforts at making the state grow in leaps and bounds through its mission to rebuild agenda, as exemplified through seamless IT methods of operation, and added that the civil service has evolved tremendously owing to IT knowledge. He thanked the state government for providing a land for the institute as well as the seamless way of obtaining the certificate of occupancy for it, and sought for the inclusion of banking and finance degree in the scheme of service, amongst other requests tabled before the head of service for consideration.
Still ahead, Nigerian Air Force's strikes killed several terrorists, destroy IED factory in Borno. More news and reports after the break. Please stay with us. You're still watching the news at 8 on Ogun State Television. There is need to advocate more policies that support breastfeeding and a bid to ensure that workplaces, public spaces and health facilities are equipped to support breastfeeding mothers. Wife of Ogun State Governor Mrs. Bamidele Abeokuta advocated this during the commemoration of the 2024 World Breastfeeding Week. Margaret Okunola was at Ilishan Primary Health Center in a Kenya local government area of Ogun State, venue of the exercise. Her report.
It is no longer news that breastfeeding is not a privilege enjoyed by babies, but a right that babies are entitled to. In a bid to drive home this point, wife of Ogun State's Governor Mrs. Bamidele Abeokuta took out time to interact with nursing mothers to sensitize them on the importance of breastfeeding. Mrs. Abeokuta assures that her vision is to make Ogun State a model of breastfeeding support, where every mother feels empowered and every child receives the best start in life.
We are intensifying our efforts to close the gap by focusing on providing tailored support to all our mothers, regardless of their circumstances. We are collaborating with healthcare providers, community leaders, and civil society organizations to create an environment where breastfeeding is encouraged and is sustained. To achieve this, we must advocate for policies that support breastfeeding in every setting. We need to ensure that workplaces, public places, health facilities are equipped to support breastfeeding mothers.
In attendance were Royal Blood, members of Spouses of Ogun State Government Functionaries Association, SOSFA, healthcare workers, political office holders, nursing mothers, and health practitioners, who agreed that the promotion of breastfeeding is a joint effort.
What she has done today is to show them that she's also a mother, and mothers have the same instinct for their children, and breastfeeding is so important.
Lectures were delivered by health workers to address myths surrounding breastfeeding, and there was demonstration on the right way to breastfeed. Various items ranging from food, baby gifts, cash gifts, among others, were distributed to the nursing mothers present.
Is that we should be breastfeeding the baby for 6 months before giving the child the water or anything. I thank her very much for the program and the knowledge she's passing on to us.
Nursing mothers left with renewed knowledge and confidence as they were empowered to give the best to their children right from their early days. Margaret Okunlola, OGTV News.
Rotary International District 9112, in conjunction with the Rotary Foundation and in partnership with the Free Seniors Foundation Germany, has embarked on an outreach to Irumbe Primary Health Center in Abeokuta local government, a health facility that caters for the needs of residents of Agoko, Ijong, and Irumbe. They gave an overview of how to tackle malaria and malnutrition among pregnant women and children under the age of 5. Tiwale Defaiso has the details of the report.
Little Steps Big L project is an initiative of the Rotary International District 9112 in collaboration with Fresenius Foundation Germany and in partnership with the Ogun State government, targeted at tackling malaria and malnutrition among pregnant women and children under the age of 5. The outreach focuses on the overview of malnutrition, that is, the misconception, prevention, healthy feeding practices using locally available food, as well as transmission, symptoms, prevention, misconception of malaria. The past district governor of Rotary, who doubles as the team lead, Raji Adeniji, and the team says that the program is to educate mothers on the need and misconceptions about malaria and malnutrition.
This is the second step of the program. We've had training prior to this, and this is an outreach to educate pregnant women or mothers about malaria and malnutrition.
So I was able to tell them the classes of food and the nutrients that can be gotten from such classes and the importance of these nutrients being combined in their daily meals. Therefore, the pregnant we encourage them to use intermittent preventive therapy in order to prevent malaria among pregnant women.
The Commissioner for Health in Ogun State, Dr. Tomikoka, commended the Rotary Foundation for the initiative while asking for more intervention, as these will have an evident impact in helping to reduce the cases of malnutrition and malaria in the state.
What I would really like to plead with you is we really need to have the intervention. And that intervention will come in the form of the nutrition kitchen. It is important, whatever you can do to support us and to make sure that that dream of the nutrition kitchen becomes a reality.
Beneficiaries appreciated the Rotary Foundation for the gestures.
Thank you, Rotary Action, for the present that you give for us today about the breastfeeding, free nets, and the malaria. They taught us a lot about the malaria and the uses of our nets. I'm appreciating this program, and I love what they did. They give us free nets, and they taught us how to breastfeeding our babies. We should breastfeed our baby for 6 months. So may God bless them all in Jesus' name.
There were questions and answers, engagement and distribution of mosquito nets to mothers, and free malaria tests for beneficiaries at the program. Tiwalade Faison, OGTV News.
And away from health, the federal government has embarked on the construction of palaces for 7 traditional rulers on Yiwu South and Ikokia Federal Constituency of Ogun State. To this end, hundreds of skilled and unskilled labor have been told to avail themselves of 100% local content agreement signed with the contractor handling the project. For Wora, Adeson also reports that 400 bags of fertilizers are now ready for distribution to farmers in the area free of charge through the federal government initiatives, which was facilitated by Honorable Abiodun Isiaka Kinadi of the National Assembly.
Our heavy-duty equipment leveling the old palace of the Alale of Agility in the Yewa South local government area in anticipation of the commencement of the construction of a befitting palace and monument for the Alale of Agility Oba Kazim Aderibigbe Amusu.
We have the living room, which the Oba will stay inside. We have the aesthetical room, which they will store the artifacts, all the cultural things. They will be inside that on the ground floor. We have the room. We have one room on the ground floor. Then on the first floor, we have like 3 rooms.
This is one of the federal government projects for 7 locations, namely Idogo, Owode, Okeodon, Agilete, Ipokia, Ijofin, Nadodo. The paternal source of the facilitator, who is a 4-term member of the House of Representatives representing Yewa South and Ipokia Federal Constituency, Honorable Abeokuta Akelade. Honorable Akelade, who said it was not in his character to lay foundation of projects, said project planned and already executed give him more joy, adding that he believes the traditional rulers deserve better abode for their stabilizing roles in the society. Honorable Abeokuta Akelade was joined at every location to lay the foundation of the project by dignitaries with an assurance that the project will be completed within 6 months, stressing that local laborers and artisans have been factored to provide the local content for the projects.
Direct labor. We also involved in the construction of this thing. After to the contractor, it's not a must for them to use money. That is liberty to use people outside to go work for them. As government doing money. But I've appealed to them, as they are building this thing, I also wanted to use it to empower our people.
Traditional rulers were extremely overwhelmed with joy at Idogo, Adodo, Okeodon, and Agilete, where the pilot of the project have already commenced.
I feel happy. I feel excited. I feel so spirited and elevated about it.
It is unprecedented because we've never seen this kind of gesture before. And we want to thank the facilitator of the project.
Honorable Akelade also promised free transportation allowance for every farmer who showed interest in the government's provided facilitators, which is now available for distribution. Adefowura Adesanwo, OGTV.
Political parties and other stakeholders in the electoral process have been admonished to abide strictly with rules and regulation guiding electoral process to collectively ensure smooth, free, fair and credible elections during the forthcoming local government elections in the Gateway State. The chairman, State Independent Electoral Commission, UTIEC, Babatunde Oshibodu, gave the admonition during a stakeholders meeting held at the June 12 Cultural Center in preparation for the 2024 local government elections. Benga Adekoya's report is presented in this package.
Seated in this hall are stakeholders in various sectors that connect to the 2024 local government elections in Ogun State and are here to deliberate and rub minds towards a successful outing. Delivering his address at the stakeholders meeting, the chairman of Ogun State Independent Electoral Commission, OGTV, Babatunde Oshibodu, represented by one of the commissioners in the commission, Mr. Tunji Akoni, pointed out crucial roles being played by the citizens in the democratic process, hence the need for proper guidance on the process.
I urge you to adhere to the law and the Electoral Act 2007 as amended. We expect all participating parties to comply with the established rules governing the election. As we continuously strive for improvement, I hope you will use the forthcoming guidelines to educate your supporters on adhering to election rules.
While ruling out the activities lined up for the forthcoming local government elections in the state, Babatunde Oshibodu, represented by one of the commissioners in the commission, Mr. Tunji Akoni, appeals to the political class and aspirants to take the guidelines and stipulations seriously during the campaign and throughout the elections.
To the people of Ogun State, especially the youth, I urge you to maintain dignity and self-respect. Avoid being used for violence or engaging in anti-democratic activities such as ballot snatching and multiple voting. Let us work together, let us work towards electing responsible and credible leaders at the grassroots.
Some of the stakeholders present at the meeting promised to work hand in hand with the State Independent Electoral Commission for a successful exercise. The 2024 local government elections are scheduled to hold on Saturday, November 16, 2024, from 8 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon.
The year 2024 State Public Service Week celebration will commence on Friday, 9th of August 2024, with a Jumat Thanksgiving service at State Secretariat Mosque, Abeokuta, by 1 in the afternoon, while Church Thanksgiving service will hold on Sunday, 11th of August 2024, at Government House Chapel, Isalegbing, by 8:30 in the morning. A statement by the head of service, Kendi Onosonya, has it that the 5-day event will feature the launching of the former sector health insurance scheme at Obas Complex, Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, by 9 in the morning. Indoor games and football matches between mainstream civil service and the parastatals, male and female, will hold on Wednesday, 14th of August 2024 at Arcade Ground, Governor's Office, Abeokuta, and MKO Abiola International Stadium, Abeokuta, from 9 to 12 in the afternoon, while football matches will hold from 2 in the afternoon. Public Service Week Symposium will wrap up the activities on Thursday, 15th August 2024 by 10 in the morning at Obas Complex, Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Abeokuta. The Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FERMA, has begun the conversion of all its operational vehicles to run on compressed natural gas (CNG). The development, it said, would help it key into the federal government effort at reducing the cost of governance. Managing Director of the agency, Emeka Agbasi, disclosed this in Abuja shortly after signing a memorandum of understanding with the Program Director of the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative, Michael Oluwagbemi. Agbasi noted that with the number of operations weaker in FEMA's fleet, it had become imperative to cut the cost of premium motor spirit and diesel, which he said had in the past contributed substantially to the recurrent expenditure of the agency. Commending FEMA for the initiative of converting its vehicles, the Program Director of PCNGI, Michael Oluwagbemi, said with the conversion of FEMA's fleet, the agency will cut its expenditure by between 40 to 70%. Oluwagbemi said the MOU will be for the first 4 years and renewable for another 4 years, as the framework for the agreement aims to deepen the collaboration between the two agencies. According to him, the initiative would convert all commercial vehicles owned by road transport unions from free of charge, while it will subsidize ride-hailing companies by 50% to convert their vehicles. Airstrikes by the Nigerian Air Force aircraft have killed several terrorists at Graza, a location within the Mandara Hills in Borno State. The strikes also destroyed the terrorist improvised explosive device factory and 2 gun trucks, according to NAF spokesperson Air Vice Marshal Edward Gabwet. In a statement, according to Gabwet, the strike was conducted on August 2 after intelligence that revealed a possible terrorist IED factory and logistics base in the area. Avian Gabwet said for some time now, this IED factory was suspected to have been relocated first from Gwoza to Timbuktu Tango in Sambisa Forest and finally bursting at Graza in the Mandara Hills. The NAF spokesperson said the findings necessitated the need for an airstrike on the location. And still on security matters, troops of the Nigerian Army deployed in the Niger Delta have discovered and dismantled massive storage facilities containing illegally refined crude oil product worth over 200,000 liters in Bayelsa and Rivers State. Deputy Director, Army Public Relations Lieutenant Colonel Danjuma Jonah disclosed this in a statement, saying the operation is in a bid to crack down on economic saboteurs. He said troops also intercepted trucks laden with stolen crude oil in Delta State, further crippling the illicit oil trade. In Bayelsa State, he said troops uncovered an illegal refining site, oven, and metal reservoir containing over 110,000 liters of suspected stolen crude oil at the Saba Creek. Lieutenant Colonel Danjuma added that 4 suspects have been arrested and will be handed over to relevant agencies for prosecution. Okpayemi Adeomi is standing by with business news after the break. Please stay with us.
Thank you for joining us on the business segment of the news. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edun, has stated that the federal government is looking at granting outright tax breaks to companies employing more staff. Also, the federal government will grant more import duty suspension for certain goods in a bid to curb the rise in inflation. He stated this as measures have been put in place for Inflation Reduction Act to be signed by the President in a matter of weeks. According to him, the fiscal measures are geared towards reducing the cost of production for businesses, which has increased due to the weakness of the exchange rate and other policies introduced by the current administration. The Central Bank of Nigeria has auctioned $876.26 million to end users whose bids were submitted by 26 commercial banks in the Apex Bank's latest attempt to strengthen the elite naira. The policy imparted the foreign exchange market as the naira appreciated against the United States dollar, trading at 1,596.52 naira per dollar from 1,601 naira per dollar. The auction process was conducted to enhance foreign exchange liquidity in the market, elevate demand pressure, and support price discovery in the alignment with the Apex Bank's objective. The CBN said this in a statement posted on its website and signed by the Director of the Financial Markets Department, Omolara Duke. The federal government of Nigeria has introduced a Series 1 domestic USD bond aiming to raise a minimum of $500 million from both local and international investors. According to the auction circular obtained, the government aims to double its initial offer, targeting $1 billion in subscription through the bond auctions. However, this auction comes at a time when 5 of Nigerian Euro bonds were ranked among the worst performer in a Bloomberg Index of Emerging and Frontier Sovereign Debt. Recall that the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, had earlier affirmed that it would issue $500 million domestic foreign currency denominated bond in August. Edun said the government need savings to attract Nigerians held abroad. The circular stated that the bond program has a total size of up to $2.0 billion, which can be upsized depending on the issuer's discretion. The Central Bank of Nigeria has revealed that the net foreign exchange flows into the country increased to $25.4 billion in the first 6 months of 2024, marking a 55% increase from the figures recorded year over year. It stated that the evident progress is a result of its policy measures. This new development comes against the backdrop of its $876 million action to 26 banks to resolve unmet FX demands demand. A statement from the Apex Bank on Thursday noted that this growth has been fueled by a rise in capital importation, which reached $6 billion in June 2024, and records inflow from diaspora remittances through formal channels. The CBN further noted that over $305 million of foreign exchange has been sold to authorized dealers in the last 3 weeks through a two-way code system, which has been deployed over the past few months to enhance liquidity in the interbank market. Finally, President Bola Tinubu has disclosed that the country spent 2 trillion naira monthly to import petrol and diesel. Tinubu stated this during his recent nationwide broadcast. According to the president, despite Nigeria's abundant oil and gas resources and administration met a country that was dependent only on oil, neglecting its gas resources while subsidizing the cost of fuel. Tinubu removed fuel subsidies on his first day in office, and this led to an increase in the pump price of petrol at from about 200 naira per litre in May 2023 to about 700 naira at the moment. As a result, the president noted that his administration has invested in compressed natural gas to change the narrative. And that wraps up the business news. Thanks for watching. We now go back to Simiat for the rest of the bulletin.